Hello everyone and welcome back to Iron Completionist, the series where I'm aiming to fill the collection log and do all of the completable, non-repeatable content in RuneScape. In the last video we bounced around to a lot of different activities and ended up doing a huge variety of things across the game. But in this one, I have one particular goal in mind, and let's just say, that goal might take a little bit of time. Hold up just a second. Before we get too deep into this, I want to talk to you guys about the sponsor of this video, Opera GX. I've been using this browser for like 2 years now, and let me tell you, making the switch is definitely worth it. When I'm playing RuneScape, I am pretty much always multitasking, and Opera's accessibility features make that super easy. Through the sidebar, I can browse Twitch to see which of my favorite streamers are live, I can check my Discord without having to minimize any other games, and I can even check my messenger apps. On top of that, I also use GX Player, which lets me play Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music directly from the sidebar, and if I start streaming video or audio in any of my browser tabs while the music is playing, it'll automatically pause and resume when I'm done. And sometimes all of that multitasking can actually start to affect my computer's performance and I start to lag, but that can be fixed with GX Control. This panel lets you directly choose how the browser will affect your computer's performance. Listening to music or watching YouTube videos while doing something intense in game? Not a problem, because this lets you limit the bandwidth, RAM, and CPU that Opera's using, which really helps reduce any lag you might be getting. I mean, right now I have the same tabs open on Chrome and Opera GX, and you can just look at the difference. On top of all of that, Opera GX is now also available on mobile, which can be connected directly to the desktop version, so you can have all these cool features right in the palm of your hand anytime. So if you guys want to help support the channel, make sure you download Opera GX via the link in the description. Well, starting this video off, I got a beginner clue and a hard clue from this bird run, so that's pretty amazing. But the first thing I want to do in this video is actually some scale gathering. I want to head over to Zolra, and as a lot of you guys know, I do already have nearly 3,000 kills here. I have the pet, I have both mutagens, but I am missing the jar as well as the Serp Visage, Tansfang, and Uncut Onyx. Now, I've had everything except for the jar before in this account, but obviously that happened pre-log. The reason I want to go here now is to just get a bunch of scales, and I'll show you guys why I need the scales in a little bit, because it's a grind that I think you guys are going to like. A bit different than the norm. The fact that this is my Iron Man account, and this is like the super swagged out Zolra gear that I use whenever I kill it, it just looks so overkill. And if only I had the Imbued Heart, which would be a bigger DPS increase than literally all of it. So I'm not really sure what happened here, but earlier I had an elite clue step that required the use of a sled. Somehow though, my sled has just vanished from my bank. I definitely didn't drop it. I don't know, maybe it can break? This isn't the first time this has happened either, so I should probably figure out what the heck is making it happen. Another elite already. It's been like 5 kills. Alright, I'll take it. Another elite? Oh my god. Well, there's 2800 KC. Aside from the several elite clues, no drops yet. Which is kind of surprising, because I've killed like 400 or 500 Zolra in total since returning to this account. And I think we've only had that one Fang drop. Hey! Unintentionally got the Zolra Speed Chaser task, which is a Master Combat task. I think that means that all I'm missing now is the Grand Master one for Zolra. Let me see if I can find it in here. Yeah, so I need to do that in 54 seconds, so 3 seconds faster than what I had there. That's actually totally possible with some good RNG. Yo! There we go. Beautiful little Tanzanite Fang and a collection log slot. Love to see it. I'm actually not going to immediately break this one down, and let me tell you why. I was debating the thought of getting a second blowpipe, and the reason I want one is kind of relative to what I did in the last video, which is revs. Now, I'm not sure if this is necessarily, like, the best idea in the world, but blowpiping revs I imagine would be way more DPS than what I'm doing now. The only problem is I think I'd have to risk a salve amulet. And I'm not really sure if that's worth doing. I don't know. I've been kicking around the idea of having a second blowpipe, but I guess I could always just come back here and get another one, so just hold on to it until we get low on scales, and if we do, then I'll break it down. What? What? I just got a dupe magma mutagen. Are you— what? 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 I'm just like— I saw the elite and I got really excited. I didn't even— a duplicate mutagen? You guys know how rare these things are? This is like 1 in 6,000 something Zolra kills. And I got— what? I mean, I don't think there's any use for the duplicate ones at all, actually. But, I mean, that's definitely pretty sick, and I'm gonna put it in my bank. I wish that I could do something else with it. I mean, maybe I just save my next Serp Helm just to make a second Magma Mutagen just to really rub it in. I don't know. It just feels wrong, but I guess I'm gonna go do this elite clue. I don't know, I'm getting so many elites from Zolra. It's just making this take a lot longer than I thought it would, because I'm getting one like every 20 kills, but I'm not complaining. Oh, let's go! There's another Tanzanite Fang. Oh, alright, Zolra's really paying out now. They started off a little slow, but, not even the day, I don't know. The grind at Zolra started off a little slow, but now we've had 2 Tanzanite Fangs and a duplicate Mutagen. And duplicates here are so much better than duplicates at other bosses, because, yeah, I'm obviously still trying to fill out the rest of the log, and I'd prefer to get a Serp Visage, and I'd prefer to get an Onyx. Those are words I never thought would leave my mouth. But 20,000 scales is 20,000 scales. Hey, yo, there we go. There's another drop, Magic Fang on 2,907 KC. I should probably stop. I think I have more than enough scales, but I'm going to keep going just a little bit longer because the luck is actually doing pretty good right now. I don't want to ruin the hot streak. Other elite. Alright. Yo, okay. Wow. So the only thing we're missing on the Zolra log now, with that Serp Visage drop, which is super fantastic, is the uncut Onyx, and also the jar, so that's freaking amazing, dude. This has been a huge string of Zolra. We've had 3 drops. Again, I'm not really sure if I want to keep this Serp Visage, because we did get that second Magma Mutagen, so I'm, like, kind of tempted to keep it just to make a second Serp Helm, but I don't know. Though, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that the Serp Helms actually probably wouldn't stack, even if they had the same amount of scales, unless they were fully degraded. Not really sure how that interaction works, and I really don't feel like buying a bunch of Serp Helms on my main to try and figure it out, so I probably won't do it for now, but I'll do the same thing I'm doing with the Tans Fangs and just leave them in the bank, like leave the Serp Visage in the bank until I actually need the scales. Well, as soon as Zolra resurfaces here, that should be, there it is, 3,000 Zolra KC. Not bad at all. So we killed like about 300 or so since the start of this video, and I think we should be at a pretty good amount of scales now, so let's go ahead and check. All this in the bank, and we are at over 100,000 Zolra scales, which is very, very nice. And then, of course, I still have the 2 extra Tans Fangs, the Magic Fang, and the Serp Visage, and I have not broken down any of these, so that's another 80k scales right there as well if I run out. You might be wondering, why do I need so many Zolra scales? And it's because I want to actually work on greening out another section of the collection log today. Probably not the section you guys are going to expect, because it's Obor. Now, I'm still not quite sure on the best place to actually kill hill giants. I'm actually thinking about doing it in Zaya. Let me show you guys why real quick. You might be thinking, why would you ever kill hill giants outside of the wilderness if the drop rate in the wilderness is 2 times better? 1 in 64 versus 1 in 128 or something along those lines. Well, this is why right here. This pen in Zaya has an absolute ton of hill giants and is very easy to get back to because it's right next to a fairy ring. This might not seem all that relevant, but hill giants themselves can actually drop beginner clues, which is a big purpose of this grind. Now, while every Obor kill guarantees 1 beginner clue, there's a pretty good chance that by the time I have the hill giant club, I'll still need to fill out a few slots in the beginner clue collection log, and I still need to hit 600 total beginner clues completed for technical completionist reasons, since I think you get an emote from this one. So I'm gonna need to do more than I'm probably going to get from Obor. If I'm doing these in the wilderness, which the wilderness spot is very, very deep in the wilderness, it's right next to the mage bank if I can ever find it. Yeah, it's down here in the deep wilderness dungeon. And I could bank every single time I get a key, but it would just be faster to do it this way. I won't have to change my gear, and I can just go to and from beginner clues immediately. Essentially, even with a double drop rate, I think that I'll probably be able to kill more outside the wilderness, and since beginner clues never take me into the wilderness, I don't ever have to change my gear. It'll be a lot faster this way, and it's a 2 birds 1 stone situation, so let's go ahead and get started, I guess. Yeah, we're also at 17 out of like the 50 or 100 elite caskets I want to get before I open all of those, so that's gonna be probably a while. Now, to the uninitiated of the fun free-to-play bosses, in order to kill the boss itself, you only get 1 kill per giant key that you collect. So I'm going to need a lot of keys. Luckily for me, they are now stackable, which is absolutely fantastic and is a big part of the reason why I waited to do this grind after seeing that in the poll. because this means I have to bank a hell of a lot less, and this grind should be way more fun. So the inventory is still a work in progress, but ideally I want to be able to bank as little as possible. So I want to have as many teleports that are used for these types of clue scrolls. Honestly, I can probably bank the Eternal Slayer Ring. I don't think I'll be using that at all, but minimal banking, maximum killing of hill giants, and completing of clue scrolls. So that's the goal. And if you want an extra metric of how to track how brutal this grind actually is, you can just watch my cannonballs slowly deteriorate. We're starting at just under 69,000, and I guarantee by the end, we will not have anywhere near that amount. I'm sure a lot of people are also going to ask why I'm not using the Bone Crusher on this grind, and it's honestly because it gives like very negligible XP, and is really just not worth the time recharging it. Also, there's our first giant key, and as you can see, I have my rune light set up to notify me anytime I get a beginner clue drop or a giant key, so hopefully I don't end up missing too many of them. Man, this inventory is going to keep changing, and I'm trying so hard to optimize it. I know it looks weird, like why do you have leather and fish in there, and it's honestly because the worst part of beginner clues are the Charlie the Tramp steps where he makes you do random stuff around the game, and if those didn't exist, beginners would actually be probably like 5 times faster. That's an interesting thing to get so early in. The first curved bone of the grind, I wonder how many of these we're going to have by the end. I mean, doesn't really matter because I'm maxed, but it's extra construction XP, so I guess that's alright. It'll save me money in the long run. Ah, now I also need to figure out how to fit a pickaxe into this inventory. Okay. Well, I'm definitely erring on the unlucky side on giant keys right now. I think I'm probably going to do this method until I have like 300 beginner clues or something stacked up, and after that point, I'll probably be able to get the rest of them from things like birdhouse runs and obor, etc. I'm not really sure exactly how I want to do this yet. I guess I'm kind of just hoping that I finish the log by the time I hit 600 beginners, but that's not terribly likely, so I guess we'll see. The bright side about this grind is that it's a lot more AFK than I thought it was, as you guys have probably noticed. Like, I have to click the cannon a decent bit, but other than that, I usually just let auto-retaliate do the work, and since I have my plugins set up so that whenever I get a beginner clue or a giant key, my screen just flashes, it's really easy to know when I need to look back at the screen. Hey, curved bone number 2. Alright, these keys being stackable, which they weren't when I started this series, is just so nice. I love it, dude. Whoever thought this was a good idea, you're a genius, and I love you. I actually remembered that I also have some giant keys in the bank, I think? I have 11 in the bank, wow. I knew I had some in here from when I was doing Wildy Slayer, so alright, we're at 21 giant keys. I think I'm going to send the first lot when I get to 50, because that seems like a pretty reasonable starting point. Wait. Didn't even think about that. I just got a medium clue from this random guard that, like, walks around over here. I didn't even realize I could get that. Alright. That's, the first, probably first, I'm assuming I'm going to get many of these, giant champion scroll on the grind. Unfortunately, I do already have this one, but I'm curious how many we're going to have by the end of this. With 5 pre-existing KC and 45 keys in the inventory, I feel like it's time to send our first batch of obor. I'm not expecting to get lucky because I did get pretty lucky on the Brio staff, so, you know, not a big deal if I don't, but this is also a great way of getting beginner clues, so I don't mind as long as it's not, like, disgustingly dry. So the drop rate for the Hill Giant Club is actually not super terrible. It's 1 in 118. Getting the keys is actually just the rough part of this grind, but this is actually the last of my first batch of 50, so if we don't get it right here, which we did not, then I guess it's time to go back. And like I said, I am doing all of these clues that I'm getting, so I'm trying to leave my inventory set up in this super messy, really triggering my OCD way so that I can make sure that I'm doing them semi-efficiently, and so far it's working. Alright, there is Giant Champion Scroll number 2. I'm not sure if I'm lucky on these or not yet. I don't really want to check my Runelight KC for a little bit because I don't want to, I don't know, spoil the fun. Okay, I lied. A little while later, I really just cracked and decided I wanted to check how many Hill Giants I've killed, and we actually just passed about 7,000 kills, according to Runelight. And it might actually be a little bit more, maybe a little bit less than that, because it's probably tracking a few kills that I did in the wilderness or something previously, but 7,000 kills so far. That's quite a lot. I mean, it's still not particularly fast. I've been here for a couple days already, but we're moving faster than I thought we would be. And I have to say, this Ring of the Elements was a just fantastic thing to get before this grind. It saves so much time on a couple of these steps, and it's also going to be used for a couple of the easy clue steps as well, so I'm really happy I picked this up before doing this grind. Hey, there's Giant Champion Scroll number 3 on this grind, and we're not even at the drop rate for the Obor Club yet. I don't know, 4th curved bone now? Oh, hey, there's another giant champion scroll on the ground over there. That one must have almost despawned because I'm realizing now I got it after I had teleported out and before I got back, so, alright, I think that's number 4. I've lost track at this point. I do have over 50 giant keys right now, but I think what I want to do is actually get up to like 300 or maybe a little more than 300 beginner clues stacked, and then I'll go open these up and see where that puts us at. Because regardless, even if I get the Obor Club early, I still need more beginner clues anyway, so it doesn't really hurt me to stack them up right now. Wait, I just got another one? What the heck? I think that's the 5th one. I'm pretty sure the last one didn't actually record on my, my drop log, because if I'm not here when the drop happens, it doesn't show it in the RuneLite log, so... Yeah, okay, I'm very, very lucky on these, which is unfortunate because this is such a passive champion scroll grind compared to the other ones. Alright, there we go. We're up to 300 beginner caskets now, and 77 giant keys. It seems like a pretty good time to go ahead and take a little bit of a break from killing hill giants and go see if we can get that Obor Club. Or Hill Giant Club? I forget what it's called. These keys will put me past the drop rate, so hopefully we manage to get it. This isn't exactly the kind of grind you want to go dry on because it's not particularly rewarding. Ooh, hello, Dragon Impling. Oh, that's garbage. Alright, well, there's 100 Obor KC, getting really close to the drop rate now, and I am just becoming slightly terrified that I'm going to end up being dry on this grind. If I get it below 200, that's probably fine, but we actually are more than likely to run out of cannonballs around that time too, so I think that might be a cutoff point. It might be sooner than that. I don't know. I've already been doing this for like a few days, and I wouldn't mind a change of pace. Well, here it is. KC 118 at Obor, which is the drop rate for the Hill Giant Club. And we are officially dry on this item. Like I said, definitely not the item you really want to go dry on because this grind is not particularly rewarding outside of the beginner clues. So I'm already reaching pretty close to the point where I'm going to be at 600 beginners. And once I open them, hopefully we'll have finished the log. Now, that's not a 100% chance, but if we finish the log, this grind is going to be, at least in my opinion, feeling much more arbitrary. Alright, this is the last giant key, putting us at 132 Obor KC, so I don't get it here. I'm going to have to go get more hill giant keys. However, I did mention before, I have blown through a lot of my cannonballs, so I'm going to come up with a plan really quick. To the bank here, I'm pretty sure I actually still have a few mossy keys. Yeah, I have 18 mossy keys left over from my moss giant grind that I got very, very lucky on, so I guess it's kind of fair I'm getting unlucky this time around, which is 18 more beginner clues. That puts me at just about 400, and in total, I think I only needed like 470 or something to hit the 600 mark. 480, I guess. So instead of going back to hill giants where I was, I think I'm going to actually now head over to the very deep wilderness hill giants that are in this little deep wilderness dungeon, because the drop rate of keys is twice as high here, so even though I'm going to be killing them a little slower, I'm going to be getting keys quite a bit faster, and I really don't see myself getting PK'd too much here, you know? Knock on wood if I had wood to knock on around here. And this should save me a good amount of cannonballs. The only downside is I can't really constantly bank and then do the beginner clues and come back. But since I'm getting a guaranteed beginner clue from every hill giant key anyway, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go blow through these mossy keys because, you know, I might as well use them. I'm going to get more when I do Wildy Slayer, but hey, you never know. Maybe I'll just get a second Bryo Essence. That'll probably be slightly tilting. Look at that 400 stacked beginner clues. On an iron, stacked clues are disgusting, and 400 of them is pretty crazy. Like I said, though, I'm going to go try out the Wilderness Hill Giants just to see if it's worth it and if saving the cannonballs is actually going to be worth doing. Well, the long and short of it is, no, this place sucks, and I was right originally. It is definitely not worth it. There are many, many less Hill Giants here. Cannon can't really hit all of them effectively. It's just really not worth the time. So, yeah. So I had no idea this is how this works, but when I logged out yesterday, I dropped this longbone in beginner clue so that I could pick up my cannon. And I logged back in literally like well over 8 hours later, and they were still on the ground. I don't know what change caused this to happen, but that's actually some pretty interesting information to know. And it also stayed between world hops. Like, I hopped from the initial world I logged into to a 2200 world, and it was also still there. Oh my god, another freaking champion scroll, dude. I had like 7 of these. This is ridiculous. Alright, back at the previous spot, and just finished using the last of my granite cannonballs. So I took a look over in my inventory here, and we do have a really good amount of beginner caskets and also 24 giant keys. So what I'm going to do is use these giant keys, really hope we get lucky and get the club, and even if we don't, I'm going to open up the beginner caskets I have so far, because if I get lucky and finish the log right around 600 KC, I can stop doing the beginners from hill giants and just collect the keys, which will be way faster. Yes, there it is, the Hill Giant Club. Oh, that is so good to get. I'm so happy I got that. 8 keys left, and we got the Hill Giant Club. I know it's not like I'm like super dry on it. It's just, this grind is just painfully slow to do, and it's just very tedious. So super amazing to get that. Now if we go to the collection log, we scroll down, we can see the Obor section is now green at 149 kills. But I'm still going to go ahead and use these last 8 keys to get 8 more beginner clues because, you know, why not? This grind also costed me about 50,000 cannonballs and well over a week of pretty heavily focused time investment because of all the teleporting to do clues. So, definitely a lot harder than you'd expect for a free-to-play boss item. Alright, 498 beginner caskets to open. Let's go ahead and slap on the Lucky Fashionscape outfit and see if we can pull the items we need. Alright, looking pretty fashionable, respectable, even rocking the Gilded Scimitar because, you know, it's not free to play, but Rune Scimitars are, so I'm trying to hope that maybe that brings me some kind of extra luck. If we go over to the collection log and go to our beginner clues, we are missing 6 items. The Monk Robe trimmed bottom, the Amulet of Defense trimmed, and all of the Sandwich Lady pieces, as well as the Demon Feet. So I'm really hoping that we can actually pull all 6 of them. I don't know what the chances of that are, but I'll probably put it on screen or something if I remember, and let's go ahead and get started. So one of the fun things I learned from a Guides for Us All video is whenever you see noted cabbages from a beginner clue, it basically means you missed out on a unique, because for some reason, cabbages and uniques are the same drop rate. I don't know why. Jagex is a bunch of big trolls. So, cabbage is bad, you can laugh every time you see him. Hey, well, look at that, we already got something new. The first unique that we got, and it's an actual unique. Demon Feet. That's already the first item that we needed. That's amazing. 5 more items to go. What a fantastic start. That was the first unique item we got, and it's just one of the ones we actually needed. Crazy. And there's a first duplicate, the Sardoman Rune Scimitar Kit. On top of the cabbages thing that I mentioned earlier, black armor pieces and weapons are actually more rare than unique items from beginner clues. I don't know why, but whoever designed these really just did some weird stuff. So this black mace, more rare than a unique. Here we go. Bam. New unique. No, not a new unique. But that is mole slippers worth 455,000 gold. Wow. Okay. Probably the only duplicate that I'm super happy to get because that has a lot of value, especially for beginner clues. That's pretty freaking crazy. Yes, there's another new item, the Sandwich Lady Bottoms, and I'm breezing right through it because beginner clues don't have a chance of giving you master clues, so I don't really have to worry about missing a master clue or anything. But that's our second new item. Oh, I'm hopeful. I'm genuinely super hopeful that we're gonna, hey, there's frog slippers as well, that we're gonna be able to finish this log. That would be incredible. A shoulder parrot, 200. Wow, so shoulder parrots and mole slippers are both actually still pretty valuable. It's 200k for that one. So, cool, I've made, you know, a little bit less than a mil just in the duplicate items I've had so far. Nice. And speaking of duplicates, there's a pair of Demon Feet. I believe. Another shoulder parrot. Yes, the Sandwich Lady hat on the very next clue, which I think leaves us only 3 more items that we need. Oh my god, I'm getting hyped. Another duplicate Scimitar Kit. This one's Guthix, though. Come on, let's see it. Mole Slippers again. 481,000 gold. We take that. Another pair of Mole Slippers. Man, we are just shitting out Mole Slippers. Okay, it's another 400k. I really can't complain about it. But it would be nice to be getting some of the items that we're still missing. But if we're going to get duplicates, I'll take the expensive one. Ooh, there's a dupe we haven't seen yet. A Jester Cape. Unfortunately, it is still a dupe. But, you know, uniques in general are so rare from beginner clues that they're so uncommon to see. But there's the Amulet of Defense trimmed. I think we're just missing one piece of the Sandwich Lady outfit and the Monk Robe bottoms trimmed. And we have 300 clues to hopefully get those 2 items. So Please, man. Please let it, just let it happen. Just let it happen. Come on, then. What? No. Everything about this is just mean. The monk robe piece that I already have and a sandwich lady piece that I already have. Seeing 2 uniques in 1 clue for beginners is crazy, first of all. But, oh, that's actually kind of rude, game. That's kind of rude, but okay. Alright, fine. Fine. I see how it is. Maybe, you know how cool it would have been if that was like the last 2 uniques that I needed in the same clue. That would have been incredible. Another amulet of defense trimmed, bro. Oh, you're torturing me. No demon feet. Less than 100 clues left to go. My faith is shaking. Another shoulder parrot, though. It's 200k. Back to back into bare feet. Oh, come on, man. Oh, it's so mean, the Zamrock. And we've definitely had every other item except the 2 that I'm still missing. This is another double unique clue, and they're both duplicates. That's torture. Well, on the bright side, we're getting pretty close to rounding up to 600 beginner clues, which there's a sandwich lady hat. That's a duplicate, which is a completionist thing. So it's not like this is all like a waste of time or anything like that. And we did still get some uniques, so there's still a chance that we could get the last couple that we're missing. I really, truly hope that we do. All right, in the spirit of absolute craziness, I'm just going to spam open all 27 of these, and we're just going to see what happens. I'm going to pass 600 as well, but I'll explain the significance of that in a second. Spamming all 27, hoping for collection log pop-up. I see uniques in my inventory. I see no collection log pop-up, but we end with the sandwich lady bottoms. What other uniques did I get in here? There's a jester cape. Oh, there's actually a couple uniques in here, and demon feet. Man. So in that, we got another Zamrock ornament kit, sandwich lady bottom, hat, jester cape, demon feet, and frog slippers. Wow. Look at this. What is that? What is that? We actually did have every other item except for the 2 that I'm still missing. Like, that's criminal. That's actually criminal. Well, first things first, let's go over here and use the emote that we got, which is this one, I think, the Explorer emote. Okay, cool. I you know, take out a little sextant and look around. That's it. This is what you get for doing 600 beginner clues. Is this cheesy little emote where you take out a sextant and look around. I mean, it is completionist content, so I'm definitely not complaining there. And we did fill in at least a couple of collection log slots in the beginner treasure trails, and I'll still be able to get more beginners from just passive things in the game, mostly birdhouse runs, and potentially when I'm doing some of the like champions challenge grinds, because I think some of these things do drop beginner clues. So at least I think maybe zombies do. I don't know. I'll figure it out when we get there. But we did get a few slots there, and of course we did green the Obor log as well, which, I mean, just means that I got the giant club. But, you know, we did it still. And I know it might not seem like it, but this video did take a pretty long time to put together because of all the background hill giant grinding. In fact, I'll put on screen right now how many hill giants that I ended up killing and the general loot from it. 17,500 in case anyone was wondering, which is quite a few, and a good handful of those were killed in the wilderness as well. So, yeah, that's a lot of hill giants. Also, since I almost forgot to show you how many giant champion scrolls we have. That's not how you spell champion. 8. I have 8 giant champion scrolls. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Join, become a channel member if you want to support the channel. Check out my Patreon. Peace out.